I, in terms of like coloration,
Yes,
uh,
they're made out of the same
etc.,
metal,
look to
platinum.
be of the same make beyond the metal, but like the pattern
Yep.
and the
Yeah,
it's
they both appear to
same.
have been worked very finely by some sort of silversmith. They have,
Apparently they
in
have
fact, now
secret
that you
keys.
look closely at it, you notice there's some pretty elegant scroll work upon it. It looks like some words are written here, very tiny. There's designs of some kind. There appears to be a lot of symbols involving time.
Do either the scroll work or the symbols mean anything to me and
I
my?
don't know. It sounds like maybe you're trying to spout lore. If you're
Oh, I'm
trying
not
to read the
carrying
text, that sounds like you're attempting to discern realities.
I would like to do both. Which one should I?
I
Uh,
don't know. Which one should you do first?
I'll try to
so
spout lore if you
so
want to discern
spouting
reality.
spouting lore would be looking at the symbols, whereas reading the text to be discern realities.
Yes.
Then I would actually be more interested in the symbols. I think.
So are you
I'll,
both spouting lore on this?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. Huh. Okay, both of
bullet.
you can mark XP.
It'll be worth coin, right? Right? Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay,
Right.
who rolled
Okay.
first? Frederick William Mayfield the 14th.
At
Interesting.
14.
Frederick William Mayfield the 14th.
Yes.
As you gaze onto this thing, it it gazes back to you. Like you can feel some sort of dark magic emanating from it.
I
And
fumble with it and
yeah, it offers you something
oh god.
in that space between one instant and the next. You feel the heat of 1,000 suns burning all around you, stripping your flesh from you until you're nothing but a floating consciousness before a great dark cloud. And the dark cloud turns to you and says, I will offer you my secrets, tiny one. What will you give me in return? I care not for your gold or your riches. I wish to know your weakness. Tell me your most horrible secret. Tell me what you fear. Tell me.
And I presume in this moment I would say I I I fear that I never had my that my father didn't approve of me being the next of the Mayfield line. I just wanted his approval, and I never, I never, I never had it. I never earned it. I'm sorry, Father. I'm sorry, Father.
So, what happens is the black cloud that takes up the entirety of your consciousness forms into an image of your father. And your father turns and looks down on you, and you're a child. And it just looks, he's so disgusted and says, You'll never be half the artist I am, boy. You can't carry on the Mayfield line. I'll have to go find your brother. And then the image, like, restarts, and he looks down disgustedly at you and says, I can't give you my mandolin. I would rather break it than hand it to you. And then the image restarts, and your father looks down on you disgustedly and says, I would rather kill myself than spend one more instant with you as a son. My line should end here. And this happens dozens of times over and over again.
And
And
Frederick William Mayfield the 14th is just weeping at this.
at the end of this string of horrible imagery, finally, you gain knowledge in your brain. You snap back to reality once more. And you know that the symbols on the side of this thing, they're related to the Golden Watch Company. They're descriptors telling of their journeys.
Hmm.
All right, now it's time to fuck with Encourage. Yeah, Encourage. You're looking over the same medallion type objects that Frederick William Mayfield the 14th is. And as you do, you feel those eldritch forces, the magic that's always with you. Something reaches out through that hole that you drew through the fabric of reality, and you feel something blue on you. Something blue, and it just like wipes its hand along the side of your cheek and caresses you.
I look over in that direction.
There's nothing there.
How do I know it's blue?
You know.
Something blue.
Yeah. You just know in your mind. The place where the magic comes from. You know that there's something blue that touched you. Caressed you. Eldamare. The two of them are looking very strangely at the objects that they're holding in their hands. What are you doing?
I'm like, what the hell's wrong with these guys? They're looking at an object and it's like they're terrified or something. I don't get it. Anyway, see, now what I was saying earlier,
Just hop
clearly,
back into the storyline. Got it.
what I was saying earlier. Now, do you believe me? I mean, you think this guy got kidnapped when he's got these bodyguards? They didn't do shit. This guy left. This guy made it look like he was kidnapped.
He says, wounds covering his entire body. Yeah, these
Yep.
guys did do shit. Chug, chug, chug.
Well, not to the supposed kidnappers, anyway. They may have cut me
Are
all
you
over, and
are you okay?
I'll be fine in the morning. That healing potion really helped. It's, like, magically, I suppose, a lot of those cuts and bruises are all sort of healing up. Like
I'll think nothing of it. It's the least I could do for you getting in between those things and myself.
Hey, that's fine. It's fine.
So, Arthur, since I'm familiar with the Golden Watch in the past, and these symbols tell of their past adventures, in my bardic lore and my readings of the item, does this evoke a memory of a
Sure, you can ask me one
particular
question
adventure?
about it.
Does this evoke a memory of a particular adventure that they went, a particularly notable adventure that they partook of?
Well, this is difficult because I can tell, like, the answer would be yes, and then I'd ask you what tale or legend or song you heard it in. Is there another question you would perhaps like to ask that is not a yes/no question?
What was the nature of the particular adventure that this recounts?
So this, the symbols on the cross one, the one with the southern edge broken off, is missing some of the beginning of the adventure, but the middle and end parts involve a half-elf forging 5 pieces of a watch, and they all fit together compactly, and then a wizard, a rogue, a fighter, alchemist, and a cleric each take one of the 5 pieces of the watch, and the last image is the 5 of them holding the pieces up and recombining them into one watch again. It appears to be the story of how they got their name. Now, what tale, song, or legend did you hear this information in?
So, in a not so public record, since these are the home heroes of Taldor, their
Of course.
adventures were recorded in Taldan history. Of course, we don't want this leaving the country, so in some forbidden Taldan lore that I am privy to.
Yeah, in the sealed files of the Lion's Blade,
Yeah.
of course.
So I will. Does it look like the other necklace is another one of the 5 parts of the watch?
No.
This only tells the story,
That's correct.
and we already established that these two are nowhere near fitting into each other.
That's also correct.
Into each other necessarily, but they could be.
Nor do they appear to be shaped like a watch. So the 5 pieces are kind of wedge-shaped. So it's like a circle where you just take a wedge out of the watch. It
Okay,
only
so
works when all
basically
5
piece of
pieces
pie.
are assembled.
Okay.
So, is the begging from the second floor still happening?
You don't hear it.
I think we may have discovered what the banging was.
Is
So
there
these
any-
things came out the door from behind you on the first floor. They came from the outside.
Ah.
In this new room we've entered into, is there a means of heading upstairs in this
Nope.
room?
The sunroom does not have any stairs in it.
Well, where
It has
did they
a door
come
to
from?
the outside, and it has a door to the north and south.
There's a
Well,
door
they
to the
came from-
outside.
They came from the outside.
They came from the outside, from the entrance you came in, the western door.
I want to take a look over there and see if there's like gardening equipment and the like, as if it looks like they were the ones tending to the plants I saw earlier.
So you're heading back outside and looking around?
No, to where they came from. That
Yeah.
there was.
When you look outside, you just see like the path in front of the house.
Yeah, there's no sort of gardening equipment or anything.
None that
From
you
where
can
they
see
come
from
from.
inside the foyer to the outside.
All right. Well,
This is a fancy neighborhood. It doesn't sound like something they'd leave lying outside.
no. I mean, I'm trying to trace where they came from and find the servants' quarters, sort of.
That sounds like, well, you know where the servants' quarters are. It's outside, on the north side of the building.
All right, of course they're outside, and they came from outside. Yeah. Okay.
Isn't his lab also on the north side of the building?
The lab is on the south side of the building.
Do we still want to investigate upstairs?
Everyone's drawn in a different direction. You could split up.
Huh.
Yeah, about that.
Sounds dangerous.
If you're not
That's-
going to split up, how do you describe that to each other? You literally go everywhere together? Go to the bathroom together?
Of course. No. Okay. Never mind.
That's a little weird, but yeah.
Yeah. Wayne.
Come on, it's
What do you
already a
guys
zombie
think?
adventure. Let's split up.
Yeah, splitting up in a zombie adventure, not a good idea.
Right, we need to investigate quickly. We better split up.
Split up, cover more ground.
Yeah, you guys
Wait,
tell me what you want to
Shaggy?
do. It sounds like each
Scooby,
of
you
you has
come-
something different you want to do. Let's discuss.
I am willing to hold off on my my theories and investigations for a bit. What would you guys like to do first?
I
Upstairs.
have 2 things that I want to investigate. One is the alchemy lab. The other is, I think that actually our commonality is going upstairs.
Sounds good.
Yeah, let's settle.
I'm just gonna go ahead and go first and have the spear in front of me as I go
Where are you going?
up the stairs.
There
I
are
think.
no stairs.
We haven't found a means upstairs.
Oh,
That's the
right, we
problem.
All right, we need to
Well,
find the
let's,
stairs.
let's open doors until we find stairs.
Sounds like a plan. Spear held high first.
So first step, go back in house.
Yeah,
Well, you never left the foyer, from what I could tell.
yeah.
I
We were
thought
just
we were
looking
looking at the
outside.
garden.
Yeah, from the
Okay,
window.
so from in the foyer, let's go north first.
Okay. You open the northern door from inside the foyer. Let's see what you find. From out of this room comes the comfortable reek of expensive cigars. This room features a large oval dining table, a full-size billiards table, 3 comfortable padded chairs. There's a rack of expensive billiard sticks attached to the east wall. You can see that there is not a single speck of powdered chalk anywhere in this room. Not something you would expect from a well-used billiards table. Someone must upkeep it very nicely.
So, of my spells, is light still up? Light
I
or
don't think you ever
magic?
ended it, right?
I don't think I ever ended either of those effects, no.
So yeah, so light's still ongoing.
And Detect Magic is ongoing, or is that just temporary?
Detect magic you have to cast each time.
Alright.
The smell of cigar smoke. Do I notice an ashtray?
There is an
Something like-
ashtray on the nice dinner table.
Is there anything in it?
There's some ashes.
Hmm.
The smell
Warm
seems
ashes.
to just permeate from the room, however. Those ashes are... From here, there's no burning embers of ash.
No.
The
I was
smell
gonna
just
be.
seems to come from everywhere. For those who smoke cigars, it's a comfortable aroma.
Gives me headaches, but apart from that, it's a nice smell.
Okay.
Well, unless any of you guys can think of a interesting clue to find in his gaming room, maybe we should head on.
Well, it seems very neat.
No, I'm
organized.
keen on the idea of continuing to look for a means to go upstairs.
Well, hold on. Everything's neat in here. Everything's neat and clean, except for the ashtray. Could I examine the ashtray?
Sure. You look closely at the ashtray. It is a very finely ornate ashtray. It looks like it's designed so that if you were to drop it, it would break along preset places. Like it's been specifically engineered to not shatter, but instead to slide apart under force. Very highly engineered. Kind of
Which
advanced.
just goes to show it's an expensive. Yeah.
There's a small pile of old ash in the center of it.
And that's the only speck of dust or anything in this room. Could I attempt to discern reality?
On what?
Why is the ash here? Why is it the only bit of detritus in this otherwise pristine room?
So the situation you are closely studying is the presence of the trash in an otherwise cleansly environment.
Yeah.
Very well. You may roll.
Please be awesome. So flat. Please be awesome.
So here's something I wanted to mention real quick. Everyone took stats to give themselves good rolls on the things they do a lot. And the irony is that if you want to be interesting and terrible, you can give yourself shitty stats in the stuff you do a lot to level up really fast. Yeah, you get to ask 3 questions about the situation.
Are those 3 questions listed anywhere?
They are. They're under the Discern Realities move, under Basic Moves.
Basic moves.
I think it's time to take off that. Still about 85 down here.
What happened here recently?
What happened here recently? Well, in this particular room, nothing has happened here recently. There seems to have been a fight with some zombies in the room just south of you.
What should I be on the lookout for?
Yeah, you're looking over the room and you just have a flashback to when you were entering the house and you heard the knocking coming from the 2nd floor.
Mm-hmm.
You know what else? You also smell cooked lamb coming from underneath the door to the east.
That wasn't there before.
Yeah, you're just catching it now.
What's here that is not what it appears to be?
There's nothing here that's not what it appears to be.
Huh. Odd. Cooked lamb.
What? Cooked lamb. I'd love some.
Careful, could be a zombie chef. I say without a speck of irony in my voice.
Lamb's lamb. It's not too hard to... It's rather difficult to screw that up.
So there are no stairs in this room?
There is a door to the outside to the west. There's bay windows on the north side. There's an eastern door from which you smell lamb coming from underneath. And there's a southern door which leads back to the foyer. There are no stairs.
To the lamb?
I think that's a good idea to see how old it is and perhaps how long it's been since living creatures have been in this house.
To the smell of lamb, then?
Okay. As you begin opening the eastern door, it slides open smoothly. And the words "to be continued" come up on screen.
Dun, dun, dun.
Let's do the end of session moves.
What are the end of session moves?
Yeah, that's the good stuff, right? You want to know what the end of session moves are. Alright, let's... End of session. So I get to ask some questions. And... You give me some... Yeah, the mystery of the lamb. It's about time I finally got some... I don't want to say spoiler. What do you call it? The cliffhanger. Yeah, cliffhanger. What is the mystery of the lamb? I feel like if this is a real TV show, like a hit TV show, everyone would be like doing lamb analysis all week.
It's gonna be a zombie lamb.
What is the lamb? Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Zombie chef?
I'm trying to make this game as fucked up as possible, by the way. As you might tell from when I was messing with Jim's head, with his dad being like, "Yes, I hate you,
yeah, the
boy."
creepiness is real. APGamingREAL.
Oh, thank you for that shout out, APGamingREAL. We have reached the end of a session. Each of you may choose a bond that you feel is resolved, as in completely explored or no longer relevant. Do any of you feel that you resolved any bonds?
No.
Maybe?
What bond do you think you resolved?
Mary is keeping an important secret from me. I think maybe with that failed roll and all those flashbacks to me dying, I don't think that's so much of a secret to me anymore.
That's interesting. Sure, I'll allow for that. Do you believe it's true as well, Ella Damari?
Well, sounds reasonable enough, yeah.
Okay, then mark it off. Give yourself XP. Before next week, you're going to have to choose a new bond. It doesn't have to be with El Damara again. And you'll need you'll need 4 bonds in total, so.
For next week. All right.
Did anyone else feel they resolved a bond?
Hey, that opens up the question then. Does that mean that does he need to come out and say it that he owes me his life, or is it enough that he realized that?
He didn't specifically remember you saving his life.
Yeah.
I only remember dying.
Yeah, you just got the bad parts. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, I'm still kind of worried about the bard. He's still kind of soft. Weren't we supposed to fill in that last slot?
Yeah, you can write in new stuff. So before next week, everyone needs to have 4 bonds. So it sounds like you don't have any that you feel have been resolved. Okay, let's look at alignments. Does anyone feel that they resolved their alignments?
Yes.
In what way did you resolve your alignment? I use your magic.
I, at one point, was when Thor waiting at the zombie's necklace, I used my spell to give him a bonus to help him be more effective at defeating them.
Precisely. XP.
I did learn something about a new creature type, and how they're magically infused to their souls are magically infused to their necklaces. Didn't get any of the particulars, but I'm on the right
That's okay.
track.
You just have to discover something. Mark XP.
Yay.
I did everything in my power to put myself in between those that are weaker than me. Does that count?
Yep, Mark XP.
Okay.
All right, now we answer 3 questions. Honestly. 3 questions honestly. Did we learn something new and important about the world?
We learned a bit about the history
Yeah.
of this organization,
Yeah.
What
We
did we
learned
learn?
something.
Golden Watch.
We learned
They
about the
were-
history.
They had made
Sorry?
a pact and then separated years ago with this watch.
Mark XP. Did you overcome a notable monster or enemy?
Wait, Mark XP, everybody?
Yes, everyone marks XP.
Yes, we did overcome a notable monster. Those two. Apparently, rich people, retired adventurers, can afford some killer employee retention
I don't
policies.
know that I agree.
Mark XP.
Okay.
Did you loot a memorable treasure?
I got this nice vase. No,
I don't think the necklaces really count. They're probably just going to be vendor trash, honestly. Or we're probably
they
gonna
might-
hand
I'm
over-
going to
They
throw
might-
you a bone here. You actually did loot a memorable treasure. However, it's not a physical treasure.
Really?
Oh,
You have
Okay.
information.
oh, that's true.
You specifically know quite a few things. Not the information regarding Kerrigan Flynn here isn't that useful because you were sent to do it. However, the information having to do with alchemically fueled zombies and the nature of the necklaces around them, that is memorable, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Specifically, someone's even looking into it. Mark XP. Does anyone have 8 or more XP points?
I have 10.
Okay. That's too bad. You can't level up yet. In
Oh.
order to level up, you have to camp in-game.
Okay.
But you should keep in mind, when you do level up, what moves you'll take from your 2 to 5 list.
And what spell I'm going to take?
Yeah, so everyone, please mark down all ongoing conditions. For instance, what spells you've currently used, or what -1s you currently have, or how many hit points you're missing. I think you're fine, Jim. Your character doesn't have any ongoing conditions.
I have 6 hit
Wait.
points of damage.
Oh,
though.
okay. Well, then there's that.
Is that healed, or is that ongoing for next?
That's ongoing. We're
Okay.
picking right back up where we left
Oh,
off
right.
here.
Yeah.
Because the lamb. We
The
must
lamb.
learn the mystery of the
The
lamb.
mystery of the lamb.
-1 to magic until a prep session.
Yeah.
Silent.
Well, you didn't hear it, so could be silent. Could just be that you're bad at listening.
I was trying to make a bad pun there.
I know.
That sounds,
I
okay.
know. I was trying to shut it down. All right. Yeah. Anyone got any thoughts so far? I especially want to hear from Thor and Dan because they're kind of new to this.
I enjoyed it. I like
Pretty
being
alright
able
so
to.
far.
I enjoyed being able to not just say I stab it and roll a die and just telling you what I do and you telling me what that means is more descriptive, more cinematic. I like that bit and.
Well, then let
that's
me ask,
cool.
what bit don't you like then? Let's hear the other side.
Oh no, that's going to be saved for the last session, like last
No,
time. Right?
no, we're doing it up front and we're doing it in parts. We're not going to have 20 minutes of.
Okay, initiative. I'd like to have like. It kind of bothers me that we're all like okay, who's going next, and that's sort of slowing us down. We should just like, go one by one or something like that, and
Or we need to learn to just jump right in.
or we just
Yeah, no,
start
I
shouting
agree.
over each other. I'm gonna go to the.
I agree with Thor. I know I tend not to want to interrupt people or interject and sort of very patiently wait my turn, and then things happen like where it's like, well, I had a really cool idea of shoving this door in a zombie's face, but it was moot because it was too late. So I definitely concur with Thor about the initiative issue being.
Honestly,
Okay. That's
that's
something
the
that's
only thing
difficult to
that-
resolve because the mechanics of the system are specifically, you know,
Is there? I think there is no initiative mechanic.
that's exactly
There
it.
is-
Like the
there is no
initiative
initiative.
mechanic is prescriptive. It's, you know, you do when you say you do it.
I like it so far. It's a pretty solid system. I like how you have how there's a pretty good chance for you to succeed, and on top of that, there's a pretty good chance for like, okay, you succeed, but there's a counter.
actually the statistics are. I was watching R&D, and Steven said the statistics on unmodified die is 42% of the chance you will fail.
Yep.
30-something% chance you will succeed with consequence, and only like 18% chance you succeed on a 10 plus.
Well, that's why you put at
Which is
least a
interesting.
+1 modifier in the stuff that you're going to be using a lot.
But you want to fail because that's how you level up.
Is there any way to increase your stats?
Yep. Why don't you look at the level up move?
Maybe I should do that.
Just for the
Good.
folks at home, this is what the level up move says. When you have downtime, hours or days, and XP equal to or greater than your current level plus 7, subtract your current level plus 7 from your XP, increase your level by 1, choose a new advanced move from your class. If you are a wizard, you also get a new spell. Choose one of your stats and increase it by 1. Changing your constitution increases your maximum and current hit points. Stats cannot go higher than 18. That's me dropping the mic like this. Boom, it's dropped down here.
So, like, we're always
Amazing,
going to be
yeah.
increasing stats. Interesting. Get that dex to 18 eventually. But
Get intelligence to 18 first, then work on wisdom.
I'm probably going to go for strength 13 first, though, just because I like the idea of being able to just brawl through some things as well. Just
I might
sort
get
of
my
feels right with his character.
I might get my dex to 16 after doing my intelligence. Meh.
Yeah,
All right.
I mean,
Well, next time we'll probably try to introduce the idea of recruiting followers. So if all my players can take a look at the followers part of the Dungeon World rules, so they can figure out what they might like to see out of followers. I
Is
would
that a
say-
big part of the system?
Yeah, especially because you don't have a trap finder. You definitely want someone to eat the traps for you.
Do we want someone with a wand of dog missile, or
So, yeah, I think this is a good end spot right here. We'll come back next week with the Mystery of the Lamb. It's not going to be up immediately, but sometime over the next week, I will do a GM turn for this game. So you'll get to see the fronts. You'll see what's advancing. I might make some new monsters from the second part of the book. So you'll see things coming up. It'll be spoilery as fuck. But if you're into that and you just want to see the GM mechanics behind Apocalypse World type stuff, let's do it. So join me for that. And there'll be a card in the upper right-hand corner once it's up. So if you're watching this about a week in the future or later, you can click on that now. Have a good night, everybody.